The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, all right. Sorry for the delay. Good afternoon, traders. Happy Wednesday. Almost forgot what day it was. I'm like, wait, is it? We met Monday, so it threw me off a little here. We still have another day this week. Welcome to the hump. Welcome to the Tradespoon live trading room, stocks and options. My name is Scott, head trading coach here at Tradespoon. I'll be your host. You don't see my screen. Well, let me see. Martine says, can see and hear you. Let me know. Can anyone else, is it on? It should be. I see your opening slide, Dennis says. Okay, awesome. Wonderful Wednesday. Thank you, Dennis. Okay, Randall, not sure what to tell you. It does look like it's on. Okay. Let's dive in. As I said, my name is Scott. I'm the head trading coach here at Tradespoon. So let's take a look. This is me. Oh, I forgot to update this. 24 years, 20 years, 24 of trading, 20 of teaching. That is me. That is who I am. Sorry, I had just had one little trade. It's all good now? Good. Sorry, I had one trade I had to just... Okay, disclosures. Here they are. And moving on, let's just dive in. Okay, so we're like, is this going to be where the market finds a bottom? There's just so many things we've been talking about. There's a very specific pattern, very specific cyclical pattern. We're wondering, does that happen? My posture still supports it. Now, did my posture drop this week? Yes. Is it still bullish? Yes. Even today, right? Even as you look at today, let's just jump right in. Look at that beautiful hammer. If that's not a capitulation hammer, okay. We've got Thursday, Friday. Maybe we get a couple of days back. Monday. Pull back Tuesday, Wednesday, right in the middle to late next week, around the middle, right? That's our spot, possibly. I'm just saying, that's what I'm looking for. That's my number one. I've got a couple of others, a couple other possibilities of what might happen. Certainly earlier today, and especially if we get a little bit higher. Yesterday we had an above average volume on a sell candle. So I'm like, oh, that's going to drop my score. But if we counteract it with an above average buy candle, nope, it's not. It's going to stay the same. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. Are there signs that tell me that we've stabilized, that whatever sell-off we just had from the middle of September down to now, what am I talking about? I'm going to skip around. I'm feeling a little ADD-ish. So bear with me today. Right here, right around the 15th, 16th, 14th, right? This area. What happens? A big drop happens, and then it slows down. Right? And then it slows down. Can I see? Oh, I don't have YouTube up, so no, I cannot. And you can see the slowdown is coming right down here into the middle of end of September. A little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a pullback, right? This is what we're looking for here. Now, if you look, this pattern here, does it start? Can we be a bit speculative here? Well, I am still bullish, and I do still have stocks on my watch list that are bullish. So my answer is yes. I'm still looking here and here, and then if we get those two pieces and this thing starts rallying, yeah, I'm looking for that full fall / early winter rally. Absolutely. very exciting. Be very exciting if we could get that. Okay, let's jump back. What's going on? So yeah, what did we do? We started out kind of up a little bit, and then the markets just kind of sold off, bam, pretty hard. And then late, we have a rally. And oil is up big. We talked about oil, right? We talked about oil even on Monday. CVE, XLE, a couple of real good opportunities. We talked about it. Russell's up 1%. NASDAQ's up 0.5%. S&P's up 0.3. Dow not at all. Okay, that's good. That fits a bullish narrative, although the oil is not. It's not fabulous to see oil up that much. We don't love that for inflation. What else do we have? It's really it. We know that there's not a lot of economic news, so it's small things. If there's a shutdown, it'll snarl airports. Wage inflation is a problem for Costco. Amazon's going into AI. Of course they are. They're Amazon, right? What else? I mean, that's really about it. That's really about it. So, okay. Economic news today was very light. We just had durable good orders. Came back a little better than expected. Surprise, which is a continued improvement from the previous month. Or actually, the previous month was down. We were expecting it to get somewhat better, and it got even better than that. Tomorrow, jobless claims, GDP. Pending home sales, couple of Fed speakings. I mean, Powell speaks, but not until after the market closes, so it's of no use anyways. Okay, couple of things, and then Friday, what do we have? Income, spending, PCE, some retail information, consumer sentiment. We've got a good amount coming out on Friday. But what do we see happening, right? That's a big, big question. So let's talk about what the model sees. Okay, Stella, which had been okay. Now we're talking. So Stella is now seeing exactly the same thing that we are talking about. Finding the low. It is a lower low. That's exactly what the cyclical said. But it gives us a nice bullish pop. Bam. Then a pullback. Higher low. That completes the cyclical pattern right through here. So that means we could have a bullish window now-ish, and then another bullish window early to early mid-October, and then we could have a rally. So, okay, great. Confirmation. That's a piece. Does this mean I'm all giddy, bullish, sugar high? No. No, this being a lower low, of course, I'm going to be a bit more reserved. So what my risk level here is going to be much different than my risk level here on this second confirmed, right? It's going to increase in risk from the little to more. You like that visual? I just made that up on the fly. I liked it. QQQ. Not yet. We would like to see, but I've noticed this pattern over the years that sometimes the lag is with the NASDAQ, right? It's either well in front or it's well behind. It has a hard time being right on. And so right now, is the NASDAQ still coming down? Yes. I mean, look, we're going to look at Apple. We're going to look at Microsoft. We're going to look at chips. We're going to look at some software. It's not strong. I mean, it's kind of stabilized, right? Doesn't look weak. I mean, weak is utilities. Got really weak all of a sudden. I was starting to think about like an ETF trade on utilities. Utilities, staples, even industrials, right? But the NASDAQ's maybe somewhere in the middle. I feel like communication services, even a little bit of financials, although financials is a bit questionable. We'll go through it, a little bit of that. We'll go through it. Let's look at the Nasdaq, or let's look at the Dow, and let's look at the Russell. Yeah, it'd be nice, right? I'd like to see that cyclical pattern. So the Dow's showing a little bit of that bullishness in the short term, but definitely a bearish kick. So whatever's been going on, it's picking up on that. It's quite rare for the model to actually be equally bearish on both the Dow and the Nasdaq. They're usually going to be somewhat divergent to each other when things are potentially shifting. Here's the IWM small caps. Okay, so just when you're ready, when you're comfortable, put a message on there. If you don't want your name attached, you can just say anon and then put your comment. Sometimes I worry. I want that to be a thing where if you want to comment but you don't want me to say, people don't like me to be like, oh, Roberto said blah 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 blah, right? So if you ever want to comment but you don't want me to put your name on it or anything like that, just say anon and then I'll just say only what you said. I'll say somebody said this. However, this is what I'm looking for. How are you trading? It's been shifty, right? When you look at the market, we've had a 6-7% consolidation. So if you remember way back when things started to deteriorate, we said, well, we don't know what we're going to have yet. It could be a correction, 10%. It could be a deep consolidation, 6-7%. Could just be a consolidation. Consolidation would be the dip and we recover. And it started to look like that. And then all of a sudden it fell apart and we got the double dip. Let me pull up the SPY so that the narration makes more sense, right? So here we were like, oh, things are getting worse. We saw it getting worse. We didn't like it. But then it started to show some signs of improvement. And then we double dipped. But even on the double dip, right? This is correction. So we got a deep consolidation. The 200-day held, right? That's a nice level, but we double dip. But at the end of the day, what's happened? We've held the 200. My posture is still bullish. The model is showing bullish things. We've got a cyclical pattern that looks just like this. Randall said he doesn't care. It's cool. It's cool, man. Very carefully. Love that answer. Of course we should be more careful right now, right? Why for me? Why do I say of course? My posture dropped, then rose, then dropped. It's unsteady. It's still bullish overall, right? It's never like veered into like, oh shit, shoot. Oh shoot, I'm bearish. Gosh darn. I'm bearish. Never does that. Not even really down to neutral. It stayed bullish, but it's shifty up and down a little bit, right? And I'm like, okay, relax then. We were up around a 5.5, nice and bullish, making money, good times. We dropped out of that. Now we're kind of shifting around. We're not quite sure. I agree. Very carefully. Good answer. Bob says here now, saw the reversal, wonder what the news was. I started talking, had an immediate impact. That's what I'm going with, Bob, unless you find something better. It was me. Thank you. You're welcome. I mean, by the way, it's good to see you. All right. So the narrative that we're building here says what? Well, it says, despite the fact, it all makes sense now. Yeah, right. Glad I could clarify. Now, the question is there enough for you that you would think to yourself, this is finding support on the 200. We've got a hammer. As long as we get some confirmation tomorrow, there's bullish in front of us. Right? If you're bearish, you missed it. It's already fallen, right? Like if you were going to be bearish, it was back here or maybe here on this acceleration, but it's not down here, right? You're way too late. There's no more bearish. My puts, I bought puts when they were cheap on this day. Fabulous. Oh, those did well, but I did close them a little earlier. And then I got another set of them on Fed day back here. And I thought, am I going to be too late? But those worked out well as also. 2 sets, 2 wins. Nothing wrong with that. right? Not a lot of bullishness. All my bullish trades that I've been thinking might set up didn't. I was never bearish. The only bearish trade I had was what I would consider a hedge or a defensive trade. I didn't get bearish signals, so I wasn't trading bearishly. I wasn't bearishly postured, so I wasn't trading bearishly. If you did, great. I see why you might. I just didn't. I had a couple of hedges. They worked out great, fairly profitable. I didn't take any new bullish trades, but I'm thinking about it now. That's where I stand. Let me know what you think. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Have you had bearish trades? Do you still have bearish trades? Are you looking for new bearish trades? Does your posture match mine? Let's get like a consensus. Let's get a consensus. And I know this is going to be terrible, but I have to run into the other room to grab my water because I'm parched, and I left my drink in the other room. Give me just like 20 seconds. Okay. We are back. Okay. Dead cat. Is it a dead cat? I don't know. I mean, it did have. So here's the deal. Especially if we get a little bit more. Oh gosh, you know what? We need a quiz. Let's get a quiz. We've gone through. Did we get through everything? I think we did. Here's the heat map today. Your world is a flood. Okay. Got some good stuff going on in semiconductors and software, right? Some decent things in financial, a little iffy. Energy, strong. Industrials, maybe trying to make a comeback. I don't love them yet, though. Costco. Okay, so it's an interesting mix today. I would love to see just a little bit more recovery, but we're in a fine spot for this all to still be playing out. Even just a titch lower potentially, but not necessarily. And then what we look for is the recovery through here, the classic bounce pattern through here, right? Okay. Let's get a quiz on the SPY. Let me go in. Ooh. Okay, so apparently I started around here. Nope. I'm a big fat liar, Bob. It was not me. Damn it. It was a little earlier. Probably in preparation for me. I don't know. Something along those lines. Something like that. What are we going to do here? From this level here and this level there. Okay. 426.33, 427.63. That's a $1.30 range just there in that little last 20-minute. $1.30 range. 426.33. So sorry, I forgot to put the actual letters. I mean, this is what we're looking at. Up here, you're an A. Holding pat, you're a B. Falling back, you're a C. Dennis went fast. He gets first. He's a B. You know what? I'm Bob. I'm going with Bob. He's probably going to want to change his answer now, but I'm not going to let him. I'm going to go in A. I'm going to say the buyers are going to try to push this thing and close it out. We'll see. Mark takes the other side. He's a C. You're going to break to the downside. Martine is an A. He says popping out. Randall is a C. He says it's going to drop. Okay, so pretty good mix. We need a few more people. Dennis stands alone at B. Anyone want to join him? Couple of ties. Brad is joining the C's. Now we have more of a bearish lean here. Okay, I like it. I like it. Okay, there it is. The consensus. Let's go see what Stella thinks. The consensus is. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Carmen is joining Dennis as a B. She is joining him as a B. So that's there you go. Okay. Okay. Let's see what Stella says. And then we'll move on and look at some charts. Yeah, nice to see the buyers come back. I was like, oh, is this thing gonna turn? But what do we say? We said, let's wait, always wait. It's a long day. Always a long day. If we met this morning, I would have been like, well, it's a long day. And we want to see if there's going to be some afternoon buying. Guess what there is? Afternoon buying. Okay, Stella says, nope. Yes, here it is. That at 2 o'clock, which is 4 o'clock Eastern, 4:25, 57. 4:25. Oh, oof. She's down here. She's a C. That's add another one. So mostly a bearish closing vibe. Couple of us bulls, Bob, Martine, myself. Couple of mids. Love it. Dennis and Carmen. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. Next, of course, we need to see is the VIX. Then we'll get to the watch list. Okay, so now here's the deal, right? We 18 was kind of our watermark. It got to 18 over here, but mostly held around a little above 17. We got to 19 almost here, but held around 18. And then over here, we touched this, and then, we got up here to about 19 and a half, and high 19, call it 19 and a half. Held at 19. Now we're sitting around 18. Here's the deal. This looks like it's, at this point, going to roll over, right? This looks like it's rolling over. If we get this pullback, let's just say for anywhere from 2 to 4 days on the VIX, this comes down, what's happening on the market? The market is going up. That's what we saw for Stella on the SPY for the model. That's what we've seen, developing to some extent in the cyclical model. So whatever we get, 2, 3, 4, even if it's 5 or 6 days, here's the thing that I'm thinking about. Okay. The thing that I'm thinking about. This is my last low. I don't consider this anything but a hiccup. I don't really see that as like a low. So it went all the way up to here. Anything above like this line is a higher low, right? It can come down to here. That's a higher low. My rule is pretty simple. I'm going to hedge that. I would hope, actually, that it goes up and then turns around and I have to close that hedge and then I get a lower high. Right now, when would that happen? It could happen much sooner than this. This could be extended. Remember, we are thinking somewhere around this time frame, right? Somewhere in there is where we think we may see this happening. So, okay, does the VIX support this story that we're telling? Yeah, it does. Things are a little more expensive. There's a little more fear when this pulls back. If it does that, what am I going to close bullish trades and buy some puts? Yes, I am. Absolutely. Okay. Let's get to the watch list. Let me know if you have questions, comments, concerns. If you want to express your, current trading leans and preferences. Okay, Apple. So remember what I said about Apple? I'm rooting for Apple. I'm a spectator. I'm rooting for it. What was I rooting for it to do? To hold. What did it? Where I thought we might have a consolidation line here. Now I'm thinking the consolidation line looks more like this, and I'm waiting to see if this thing is going to bust up out of it, come back. Okay, right? It's got work to do. And as of now, still making lower lows. That's not great. Not great for them. And NASDAQ is up, even though. So there is some bullishness out there. AFLAC. Yeah, so it's viable, right? We pulled back, new support. It's turning. It's turning. Honestly, it's a viable trade, at least from this perspective. We don't have a bullish Heikenassi yet, so you'd still want to give it some room. I'm super curious if Stella sees financials bullishly. Stella's been grumpy. I'm not going to lie. You know, we had some good times where we were getting along and then got a little rocky. That's reasonable. Mostly sideways. Overall, a little bit of a bullish lean. I could live with that. AIG is another one. Less so here, but not bad. Let's get out of this. I think financials have something. Here's AIG. AIG is given the same hammer. So if you didn't like the way that AFLAC looks right there, where you're like, am I late? Certainly you could do AIG as an alternative and wait one more day for a little bit of confirmation, and then I'm sure that would give us the turn and the signal. Any entry above maybe 61.75 tomorrow, something like that. Amazon's at new lows. There's nothing there for me on this one. I need this. This is now, I've got a number of stocks on my watch list that I'm going to keep watching that are in these consolidations. And only this, anything less than that, I'm just like, not interested. Just not interested. APO looks good, needs to turn. Right? Financial, it's pulled back. There's not a lot of volume. Sellers haven't done much. Just waiting for that final little push. Same kind of a thing back here. Just meandered for a little while and then turned. So we'll be patient. Wait for it. Don't anticipate. There's no need. BX is trying to stabilize. I think that there's better, but that does look bullish still. Higher high, higher low. Holding above the 50, etc. Caterpillar. So industrials to me, really, I'm still watching two stocks from industrials. I'm watching CAT like we have now and CPRT, Copart. We watched Dow, we watched Boeing, not Dow. We watched Deere, we watched Boeing. We've had others, BLDR. So we've had different representations, but the whole group really, I mean, even if you look at this here, this is one of the best. What does it look like? Looks like that, right? It doesn't bode well or show well. I'm going to keep watching. You can see this is very much the same, even longer, right? And it's funny because when you're in it, there are times where you're just like, nah, everything's still trending up. But then all of a sudden you realize outside of these like 4 days right here, this trend exists in this world right here, right? Look how much. That's from May 15th until now. 4.5 months. And I would say 90% of the price action exists in between these two lines. So sometimes over here, it's easy to think, this is what's happening. But when you had that one big move right here, it sort of just stole the rest of that trend. And whoops, oh, come on down right here. 2 months later, hadn't gotten any further. So that was interesting, right? Kind of a precursor to the ultimate weakness that industrials started to show. CVE looking good. We looked at this one. Remember, we talked about it actually on Friday when we met in the morning, and then we talked about it again on Monday when we met in the morning. Now it's Wednesday. You missed it. Well, no, you could. There's a big piece. It's the same thing with XLE. Either one, you had time to get in yesterday, the day before. But by the time you get to today, you're kind of chasing this move. I don't know. It's one that we definitely saw. So I would imagine some of you are in there. Oh, where were we? Copart, CVE. Okay. Dell. It's quiet out there now. Everyone feeling all right? You got your afternoon coffee? Yeah, so Dell, I think, gave a valid signal late last week, and it's shut down. This would be, for me, that would be the end. It was new for me, and that looked pretty reasonable for a pullback and a turn, and then it just sort of stalled. If you weren't convinced yesterday, today you definitely are. All right, let's keep an eye on it. Maybe it doesn't fall apart. I don't know if anyone took that trade or not. Here's the Dow. So you can see the Dow. Here's the question that we should be asking. If you're very worried, if you're thinking, oh, is this going to be worse? Is this dip that we're in going to get worse? Well, that's certainly hard to know, right? That's certainly hard to know for sure, but here's a couple of questions I'm asking. Does the market's appetite for risk seem to be shifting, where we're moving out of small caps and NASDAQ into large caps? Out of small caps, yes. Where do I think the small cap money is going? Bonds. It's a weird new play, right? It's been over a decade. But now we have a viable alternative to stocks. When it was paying 1%, it was just like, yeah, let's just leave it. But now it's like, oh, you know what? Let's drop the small caps, move it into bonds and make 7%, 6%. Right? All of a sudden, that doesn't look so bad. But is that money flowing out and into defensive things like the Dow? No. Right? No. In fact, the Dow looks like it's losing ground. So I think we could still see it's setting up the other way. You can see the bonds continue to sell off as interest rates have climbed, but maybe looking for stabilization. Okay, where were we? We were at the Dow. Flex, nothing there yet. AI's kind of gone a little cold. Gold is down. Not a lot of defensiveness out of gold. IBM, I don't know. I don't love that we kind of busted this thing down so hard. Still a maybe as it tries to hold on to this 50-day moving average. Still a maybe if it can hold from here. Intel. This one was interesting to me because even if I go up here to this level, that's $3. I could put my stop right here, and I'm getting 3-1, right? Getting in right now. I could get 3-1, and that's not having it all the way back up. If it goes all the way back up, I would get even more than that, right? I would get even more than that. Interesting. I don't think Stella likes it. Let's take a look. I'm curious. There's been enough selling that I think she's going to be looking for more rather than a recovery. A little recovery and then more. Okay, that's fair. Here's the Russell. Same thing, right? Yeah, we're up 1%, but this looks like a dead cat bounce. I mean, there's just not much love for small caps. So there's really no I don't know. There's no interest in small caps and hasn't been for a while. Like it tried to come back into play. This never really materialized. And so now at this point with this down here, yeah, the question is, where is the money going? You can see the NASDAQ's actually held up the best, I would say. When you look at how much of a drop it's had, the NASDAQ's sitting around the 100. The SPY is sitting on top of the 200. The DIA has already broken the 200 a couple of days ago. And the IWM smashed right through it a week and a half ago. So that actually looks okay as far as that goes. We just need to see if the buyers are going to make a run, make some kind of a recovery. Here's JP Morgan. I think JP Morgan looks pretty strong, actually. Made a higher high. Right? Broke this consolidation, made the higher high. Higher low. Starting to turn. Stochastics turning. They get a pretty good reward to risk ratio. Now, if I only get 3 or 4 days on this thing and then it stalls, pulls back, would I try again if something like that happened? Absolutely. Absolutely. Prior to earnings, I could still get 2 windows in potentially. All right. Meta. Ooh. I don't know. I mean, it turned. And if you were in this trade, I'd be like, if you were in this trade, I think you'd be picked off. If you had a hard stop, you'd be picked off. If you got in this trade here on this turn, your stop loss would probably be somewhere underneath there. That would have picked it off. Yeah, I don't love it. I don't love the way that's moving. I was iffy on this one. I didn't love this whole pattern to begin with. And I didn't love this consolidation. I'd like to see it move a little cleaner before trading into it. MPC. If you missed CBE and XLE, there is some potential for MPC. Microsoft. So Microsoft was disappointing when it didn't hold. Still above the 2. Let me down. A little bit of embarrassing me in front of my friends, if you know what I mean. NVIDIA. Honestly, this doesn't look good at all. Where is SPY now? We'll be there in 3 stocks. Give me just a fraction of time. I'll be right there. We'll take a look. NVIDIA is bouncing off the 100, but not doing much. Still in its consolidation, right? And I've identified this as being in a consolidation for a couple of weeks now. It can't just all of a sudden become a trade. It's got to break, pull back, hold. Anything less, I'm still a spectator. PLTR. Oh, well, look at that. It's got work to do. I'm going to say it's got to break 16 before I'm going to pay attention to it. If it just gets up here or not even 2 here and then pulls back, man, I need it to break out and then give me a higher low. Or if it gives me a higher low without a breakout, maybe. But hey, I like to see that. I like PLTR. I want to trade it, right? I want to. It just has to show me something. Here is QQQ. All right. It's got the doji. It's trying to hold on. Here is 15 minutes left. Here's the SPY. Ooh, we seem to be selling a little into the close. Turned around here in the last 10 minutes. It was holding on. And then we had a line in a fork in the road right here. And then if it was going to be an A, it needed to take a left, but it didn't. Take a right. And it's now moved. Well, I'll tell you, Stella's going to nail it. Well, we'll see. We'll see, but it's we've still got time. Good to be a C, Rattleset. Yeah. He's getting it's 15 minutes left. It's a long time still. Long time. TJX. What do we think about TJX? Let's get back. If I were going to take this trade, a trade that looks like this, and you'll notice this is a very similar pattern to this one here, I'm going to take this one. I like this one mo better. Much mo better. So, nope, I jumped. Where was I? TJX. Sorry. TJX. Also better than TJX, but also in the consumer discretionary space, Tesla. It did break the 50, but not with a lot of volume, and it's now sitting on the 100. Still higher than this low, so it kind of is a little below here, but still overall holding up. I'd wait for this one more day to see if tomorrow gets above 244.5. I'd think about it. Let's see what Stella thinks about Tesla. Tesla. TSLA. Tesla. Oh, Stella does not like that at all. Not at all. The VIX is ramping back up a little bit, but not terrible. Still down. Wells Fargo, a similar construct to JP Morgan, but you'll notice this candle got all the way down to this low, and it's like I would say it's a full retracement. So the buyers were like, yeah, buyers, and the sellers are like, yeah, sellers, and they got it all the way back. If I'm going to do one of these two, which I see is close enough in the same space that it would be one or the other, I would take JP Morgan. Walmart touched the 50, held on. I don't know. I'm interested. Maybe. Let's see what Stella thinks about this one. What time is it? All right, we're okay on time. Yeah, that's not terrible. Waiting for the bounce, looking for a bounce to come out of that. All right. WRK. This is an interesting one on my list. I think it's trying. I mean, you can see it got the first signal that said the buyers were trying to come, and then they've just sort of stalled. Now, it hasn't gone wrong. It's just kind of sitting. So what do we do with this? I think I'm going to wait for a Heiken Ashi momentum candle. These are transition candles. These are transition candles. These are momentum candles. These are momentum candles, right? So right now, what am I waiting for? Right now, I'm looking at something like this, where I'm saying I'm in the throes of these transition candles. I'm waiting for the first momentum candle. And then what would I do with it? Then I could get in and I could just plan to move my stop and follow it up. And if I catch something like this, I'm all the way up here by the time I get out. And that would be a very nice trade right there, right? A very nice trade. So that's my potential that I'm looking for on something like a WRK. Let's go back out of here. Having fun asking Stella what she thinks. WRK. Stella's like, nah, I'm not seeing it. Not seeing it. Here's XLE. We talked about this one already. Starting to move. If you're in these trades, you've gotten your Heiken Ashi candle. You can start thinking. If you start up with stop losses down underneath, maybe you start thinking about tightening up and getting ready to see how long this thing might move for. XLF. Yeah, see, this is my. So I told you I like Aflac and AIG. I like JPM, APO or BX. But then I look at this ETF and I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, it's not as bad as some. Here's industrials, way, way, way down here. If you look at utilities, look at utilities. Remember, we talked a little bit about defensiveness, right? Is there defensiveness? Well, if there is, people would be moving money into the Dow at a disproportionate rate. They'd be moving money into staples, utilities, maybe healthcare. Let's take a look at healthcare. Healthcare is holding up okay. I'd say better than the others, but not great, right? So that's where we find ourselves, right? We're not quite sure, right? We're not quite sure. There's some uncertainties. We have some evidence to support some bullishness. There's no defensiveness. There's no bearishness. I'm not seeing that. Even now, right? God, for just until this summer, 20 was as low as the VIX was getting. Right now, we spiked and we're at 18 on a spike, right? So it's a different feel right now than it has been for a while. And that's another thing, right? There's not this surge of fear. Like the institutions seem to be feeling okay. So am I. All right, what's going on? What are my thoughts on the dollar? The dollar's been strong, that's for sure. You can see. Let's go take a look. Look at UUP. Very strong. I mean, almost hyperbolic strong, right? Yeah, I would expect some consolidation on that, but it is yeah. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Strong dollar. It's it'll be interesting to see what happens with it. Hard for the market to continue to rally with that strong dollar. Interesting and absolutely concerning, right? Absolutely concerning. So it's yeah, it's definitely going to put some pressure on the stock market if it continues to rise. So we'll keep an eye on it, right? We'll keep an eye on that. Let's go back, take a look at SPY. We're coming into the close. We're about 4 minutes out. Oh, it's moved back into B territory. Maybe so. Oh yeah, definitely. Let's see, where was it? It was the range was from 425. I can't remember. It's close to B or C. 426.33. 426.33. Oh, that was the low. No, the C's have it. The C's have it. Still a C. Yeah. Rando, spot on. Spot on. Yeah. That was the last ditch rally right there. They got a little back and then it was like, nope. Okay. Well, at the end of the day, what? We stalled. Happy your medal is well awarded, sir. Well awarded. Wear it with pride. Tell your friends. Post about it on Facebook. Whatever. Congratulations, C's. You did well. Of course, right as I start to award it, it's going to rally, right? No. Yeah. Okay, so what do we know now after today? The hammer's still there. It's still stalling. So are the sellers at least stopping selling? It seems like that might be happening. We need tomorrow, Friday, to tell us if the buyers are going to come in. The good signal, the confirmed signal, wouldn't come till next week. So you don't need to feel like you're in a rush or you have to hurry and trade or whatever else. So, all right. Well, my friends, the time has come. Enjoy your Thursday. I will see you for Friday morning coffee, as usual. Enjoy the fall weather. I hope it's nice where you are. Be safe out here. Very carefully. It's a great way to be trading right now. The markets are, they're still a bit shaky. So, tread lightly. Don't overcommit. And we'll go from there. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, happy trading.